Welcome back to Task Force Podcast, an Airsoft podcast made by the Airsofters for the Airsofters.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode Task Force Podcast. I'm your host, Snake, joined by my co-host, who's not here yet. He's not here yet. He should be here soon, but I don't know. Maybe the show will go smoother without him here. Actually, it might be a plus. But today we are also joined by a very special guest, Full Auto Airsoft. We're excited to have you guys on here. You guys have got some big things upcoming, and I know you guys also do your full auto updates as well on your Instagram.
Yeah, every Monday night.
Dude, those are pretty cool. I kind of dug in and watched quite a few of those, and I watched the one that you guys did about the new high kappa you did with ODB.
Okay.
Dude, and that high kappa turned out fucking awesome. Like, I don't even like high kappas, really. I just never have. This is something I never was able to really get fully into. But that one I could definitely holster and use.
It's the slide.
Dude.
The slide totally just made the whole thing.
It looks so good. Pull it up right here so everybody can see it. It is phenomenal. He did a really good job.
It's just a clean piece. And we literally had no input on any of that. So we recently started a sponsorship with ODB Airsoft. Mm-hmm. And when he came in and signed the paperwork, because obviously we would try to keep everything professional with it.
Right.
I looked at him and I said, so let's build a custom Dream High Kappa. And I let him just run through all the products we had and everything we had to offer and just let him handpick all the pieces he wanted.
Dude, it turned
and what
out
would be the dream gun for him. And you know, we kind of did the collab that he could he got it, he built a beautiful piece. He used it in a couple of games to kind of, I guess, make sure everything was good,
right?
Because it might just be perfect right when you build it, but then obviously, you know, things
right.
can come up within the first couple of games, and we wanted to make sure it was going to be perfect. So we used it for a couple of games, and it came together perfectly. And I gotta say, we just recently got it back into the store, and I'm in love with it to the point where I almost felt like, do I want to post this up on the website or do I want to keep this?
Dude,
it was actually it was tough. So we announced that on Monday. We were gonna try to get it up on the website by like Tuesday, and we just got it up, I think, yesterday. And one of the reasons was because I was contemplating whether or not we actually wanted to sell it.
Dude, I get it. I would have had a hard time letting that thing go because it just turned out so good. And when you watch the video of him using it, it seems like it shot really well, and it was just putting out rounds like just nobody's business. And I thought the thing was freaking awesome. And I think I even commented on this video on his Instagram, and I was like, dude, I would carry one of these. Like, this makes me want to get a fucking high kappa. So I was just cruising your guys' website, actually looking at high kappas. I was like, maybe this is a good place to start. Maybe we just go here and we just pick up a high kappa and then see how deep this rabbit hole actually goes.
It's it does perform like an absolute savage. It's got the like perfect combination of parts to just make it quick and responsive, but we didn't go too crazy with the trigger, so it wasn't like super hair of a trigger. Right. But it was like almost like the perfect balance with this pistol, with kind of just, you know, the parts, the looks, the performance, everything just kind of came together so perfectly. And those slides. So the big thing with that slide is, so the company that makes that slide is Gunsmith Bros.
Yeah.
And really cool thing about that slide is from at first. So I've been contacting Gunsmith Bros. I started contacting them in August of last year, because that's when we kind of started to make the big push into high kappa. So we never really offered high kappas
Right.
for building. We did for a little while, just the guns, but we never actually did the building side. And then I came back, after we came back from COVID and everything, and we were just kind of expanding. I was like, I really want to get into the awesome custom builds. Like for me back in the day, it was kind of seeing Airsoft Surgeons custom builds,
Right.
and I always loved them. But so I kind of started getting back into it. Tried to get in contact with Gunsmith Bros, and no response after like 5 months, 6 months, and I emailed them like 3, 4 times. And then eventually one day I was trying to go onto the website to see if maybe I could send them another email or something, and the website's gone. So if you try to contact a company and then over a certain period of time their website's gone, you kind of just go, did they go under?
Right. They're fucking gone. What the hell happened? That would be my first
So
thought.
right. So and then kind of searching around through some of my suppliers, I came across that one company had not a lot, but enough to make it worth it slides, right? So they had about 30-ish slides in stock, and they had all of these, all the different ones. They have them in a bunch of different colors and whatnot.
Right.
And I ended up buying every single one they had because I couldn't find anything else anywhere. So as of right now, we actually, to my knowledge, at least based off the internet and everything, we currently hold the remaining stock of Gunsmith Bros Infinity with compensator slides in the United States.
Damn.
And there's only one other company in Russia that we were able to find these slides off of.
Right.
So then fast forward, it's been like 3 weeks since we've gotten the slides, and I somehow managed to get a hold of Gunsmith Bros. And I was like, are you guys still in business? Are you out of business? And they were like, no, we're still in business. So long story short, I opened up an account with them, and those slides are nowhere in the product list. And I think what had happened is I think they only produce slides for a certain period of time.
Right.
And then they discontinue them. Like they only do like 1 or 2 batches of each slide, and then that's it. They'll go on to the next.
Yeah.
So then that kind of made me feel a little good again about what I got. And I was like, oh, sweet. So we still have the remaining inventory left in the world.
Right.
So everything you see on the website is literally the remaining inventory for the country and on the Eastern Hemisphere.
Damn, dude, that's pretty cool. So if you want an Infinity Gunsmith Bros slide with the compensator, they pretty much have to go to fullautoairsoft.com.
Yes. So it's either us or one other company in Russia are the only 2 companies left that have them in stock.
Right. Which, if you're trying to shop from Russia, good luck on getting it here. I mean,
yeah.
Who knows when it will show up? It might not. You never know, especially with that type of stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a $500 slide, so it's not a cheap piece. But I will say this: anyone that's ever come into the store and kind of asked, I get a chance to kind of explain. So I guess this is the only big, I guess you could say, kind of issue with websites is you don't get a chance to explain anything.
Right.
And yes, it's $4.99. Yes, it is really expensive for a slide. You can get an Airsoft Masterpiece for $125.
Right.
The quality of the slide and also what it comes with. So it's not just a slide. You get a slide, an outer barrel, a guide plug, a 2-piece spring guide rod, a blowback housing that's lightened, and a nozzle return spring. You get all of that in this package. So it's like a 60-70% the completed slide.
Right, so you get quite a bit for your money, actually. It's not just the metal piece to make it look fancy. It's also some internal workings as well.
Correct.
Damn.
So, and then the cool part about it, we found this out by accident. If you take the compensator off, it's perfect for a 4.3. So you can use it on a 5.1 and then go, nah, I want to build a 4.3. Just take the compensator off the front. And it is the perfect 4.3 size.
Yeah, I'm looking at that picture now, and I feel like I can see what you're talking about. Yeah.
It like cuts off perfectly, just like a regular 4.3 with a nice cutout, almost like the the Terran Tactical, the one that they have where it has like the barrel sticking out the top.
Yeah.
Same size cutout.
Dude.
Same size cutout.
Right there. Yeah, that would be Oh, that would be pretty fucking cool. Because, like, I mean, the comp's cool, but man, even having it just shortened would be dope.
It's nice that you have so many different options with it. That's the nice thing. It is a beautiful piece, very hard to get, but there are a lot of different things you could do with it, and you're not just stuck in the way it's made. Like there's so many different configurations.
Man, I don't know, man. You guys got me on the high kappa train now. Now I want to get a high kappa and be full milsim, and then when I pull out my pistol, just be straight speedy boy.
But that's the thing. So that's the other argument that we've had is you don't have to make it a speedy boy gun.
Right.
So if you look at like the black one that we have, there's a black one with a silver compensator.
Right.
The whole thing is all black. So if you took the black slide off and took the compensator off of that and put it on a 4.3, it would just be an all black 4.3.
Right.
So it wouldn't, I guess, be considered, I guess you could say, a speedy boy build. It could be a milsim build.
Well, see, part of me also kind of wants to, I don't know, man. I feel like if I'm pulling my pistol, especially in airsoft, I mean, most of the time you're going primary, like, unless you're getting up close, right? And in milsim events, to me, it doesn't really matter what color your pistol is per se. I mean, just depends upon, I guess, what kind of holster you've got, how much it's covered and whatnot, if you're worried about that type of thing. But if I'm in a situation where I'm going to pull my pistol, most of the time I'm going to be in a CQB environment. And at this point, either one, they know that I'm there, so I don't care if it blends or not. And two, part of me just wants to be able to pull this thing out and then just basically flex on you right before I shoot you. So like, you know, so to me, I think it would be cool just to be full milsim, and then all of a sudden you pull out your pistol and it's just this extremely Gucci'd out fucking high kappa. And I don't know, part of me just thinks that would be such a cool little like homage to the Speed Soft, even though I don't play, you know. I'm not built for that, man. I'm too thick to play Speed Soft.
Let me tell you something. I've seen some, and don't get me wrong, I'm on the larger side as well. I just made the camera angle, you know, look at the upper half.
Yeah, I know. Put the desk high and it buries it all, man. You don't gotta worry about it.
I'm 260 pounds. I'm not a little guy. And, and I've seen guys bigger than me Speed Soft.
Really?
Yeah, you know, it's a lot of people kind of, you know, especially us larger guys, we kind of look at it as, oh, it's definitely a smaller guy type, you know, but it's really not, because the smaller guys would be the ones to kind of be the more aggressive ones running up in the field and kind of attacking more, where we could totally be the support in the back end, calling out. The communication is almost more important than just being able to rush it.
Right.
And the main guys in the back are always calling out what they see, so the guys up front can know where to pop up real quick and attack.
Right. Yeah, so, I can feel that. I mean, the basic principles of milsim, even if you really, like, it doesn't matter what you wear or what you use or whatever, as long as you can shoot, move, and communicate, it's all that matters. You're going to be able to dominate the field. Doesn't matter if it's Speed Soft, doesn't matter if it's milsim. He said doesn't matter what you're using. Shoot, move, communicate. You got it. But I don't know. I guess it's more like I guess exactly like you said, you view it more as a smaller guy play style, as, you know, they're running from fucking cover to cover and they're sliding and they don't give a shit. They're hauling balls. Like I swear to God, they literally are the fastest runners on this planet. And, you know, and they're out here playing airsoft, and I'm out here thinking, bro, if I just jogged like 10 feet, I would either A, collapse and just be dead, or B, I felt like I was going fast, but I was going so fucking slow that I just got popped like 15 times, you know? And that's exactly how it feels when you're a big dude. You're like, when you feel like you're running, you're not fucking running. You're just like slow cruising. You're like a fast walk for a skinny person. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know that feeling all too well.
But no, dude, I mean, stepping away from the high kappas and whatnot, tell us about full auto airsoft. Like, how did full auto airsoft get started? Like, I know you guys got fullautoairsoft.com, which, by the way, if you guys haven't checked out their website, I'm pulling it up on the screen right now. You guys need to go check it out, because they've got some actual really good stuff on here. Like, and the website's easy to browse, and that's what gets me more than anything. I love it when the website is easy to browse. But they got airsoft guns, they got tactical gear, they've got literally fucking anything that you would need to be getting taken care of. But the main question I have is, how did this even get started? Like, one day you were just like, I think I'm going to start my own airsoft company because nobody else is providing what I want, or where did this come about?
So it's actually kind of funny you ask. So I like to call full auto airsoft the it was the American dream that people hear about, but no one believes can really happen.
Right.
What do I mean by that is when people say, "Oh, it just takes drive to make something happen,"
Right.
and the truth is that really is the case. So I started playing airsoft in 2007. I stumbled across it through a friend, and back in the day, it was very hush hush.
Yeah.
You didn't really talk about it to anybody. It wasn't like today where one, it's all over the place. Two,
Right.
friends talk about it. Nothing like that. It was a
Right.
very closed knit community.
Yeah.
And I stumbled across a friend that was playing, and I started getting into it then. And I did the same. I went to Airsoft GI. Back in the day, Airsoft GI was the
Yeah.
go-to company for everything.
Yep. I remember Airsoft GI, Air Splat, and I remember occasionally you could get something off Red Wolf, but sometimes it just seemed like it was too hard to get anything ordered.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it was kind of funny at that time, Evic, I didn't even know who evic.com was until I started the company. I know. I didn't even know they existed.
I know. I remember thinking Evic had like a bad selection. They never had anything I really wanted, so I just never shopped there. I mean, they've gotten way better, but it's funny you say that because that's exactly how I used to feel about it. It was like when somebody first told me, I went there and I was like, I don't even know what the fuck this is, and I just moved on.
So I would shop from there, and then I'd go to, there were some local stores, but of course the local stores were so I'm in North Jersey.
Right.
And the local stores were like an hour and a half away. And getting out of work, they close at 6:30, and it's just like, shit, man, we gotta rush down and get stuff, get BBs for the weekend. Luckily, I used to play down in Delaware, and there was a place like 2 minutes down the road from where we used to play. But after kind of being in it, 2010, 2011, I did Milsim events.
Yeah.
And eventually it got to the point where I was just like, I want to start a company.
Right.
And it was kind of because there was just nothing in the area. So I kind of looked at it as let me come at it from somebody that played airsoft for, at this point, almost 5 years.
Right.
And try to offer what I wanted as a player. So with $50 in a dream, I wish I was kidding. $50 is all the investment was.
Wow.
I started full auto airsoft. The $50 was in order to make it a sole proprietorship, which legally makes it a business.
Right.
And essentially started it with friends that were playing. I would order stuff for them, and then they would pay me retail. I'd order wholesale, and they'd let me collect the profits and everything. And I wouldn't charge them anything more than what Evic would sell them to for. So it was minimal profits, but it was something.
Dude, but shout out to those friends, though, because, I always, like we're talking about, you see stuff like this. It's somebody's trying to make something happen, and friends will always be like, hey, man, let me get that friend discount. And you're like,
yep.
It's cool. It's cool a couple times here and there. Like, you get it. You know what I mean? But if you really want to try and make it into something, you have to have that little bit of profit. Otherwise, what was the point? It doesn't really help you out any. So shout out to those friends who let you charge them MSRP, bro. And they didn't complain about it and kept coming back, because those are the real MVPs right there. That
honestly,
right there,
yeah. If it wasn't for them, this probably would not have happened.
Right.
So I ended up doing that, and then from a previous job, I learned how Amazon worked.
Right.
And I got onto Amazon, figured out some top selling items that I actually had access to me. And I used the profits from that to get Amazon products. And I turned that into just additional profits.
Right.
And eventually got to the point where I was able to just start carrying inventory. And I'd actually go out to Pennsylvania every weekend King of Prussia area, Pennsylvania, which is a 3-hour drive. Every single Saturday, I'd set up shop at like a little local field,
Right.
and then tear down and go home.
Dude, that's
For
dedication.
I did it in October, November, December, January, February. So October 2011 all the way until March 2012.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had turned to my family at that time and I was like, listen, I need you guys to help me just find a building, right? I didn't know how the real estate market worked. I was in my early 20s. I was like 22 years old, 23 years old.
Right.
And I didn't really understand how the market worked and all that. So I was like, just help me find a place. And we found the current location of the store in April 2012. May 15th, signed the first lease. It opened July 3rd. And here we are, 9 years later.
That's fucking awesome, dude. That really is. And I mean, the fact that you've been able to even keep an airsoft store going, because you got to figure, dude, it's tough because with airsoft and being in it for as long as guys like me and you have, like, you know how it has ups and downs. There's years where it's like airsoft seems to really take off and you get a bunch of people into it, and then either those people they were in their early 20s and now they start making a family and they don't have time for that, and then it kind of tapers off. Or you get the young guys who were all gung-ho for it, and then they take airsoft and they actually go and they join the actual military, and that kind of puts them off of it again for a little while until they can come back to it, or if they decide to, and so you get this influx of people, and those people will bring more people, but then those people leave, and so you get a dip in airsoft is what I feel like happens. So you'll have big influx, then a long lull, and then a big influx again of people. And I know here that's what we've had a lot in our local airsoft stores. Like, we had 4 of them actually, which seems crazy to think about now, and 3 of them did not last. So they were here for 2 to 5 years, depending upon the store, and they just would just slowly fade away, and mm-hmm. It's hard too, because if you run a store, you got to be careful with it, but at the same time, you also have to give the consumers what they want, like what is popular and what they want to purchase. You know what I mean? Can't be just carrying snakes and sparklers, right? You gotta have all the Husker do's and Husker don'ts and all the stuff that the consumer wants, right? But a lot
you really pulled in a Joe Dirt reference, huh?
I mean, every now and then I can work one, I can just kind of segue them in there, but and we have our local store here. They don't, and man, I don't know how the fuck they are able to keep around. So serious, like, mad props to you guys for being able to, change and grow. And obviously now the website seems like it was fairly new. You guys got airsoft, fullautoairsoft.com.
So an actual website that is now functioning and getting, actually doing what a website's supposed to do.
Right.
We launched it June 1st.
Yeah,
I think right sometime in June is when we launched it. So yeah, it's just about 2 months old.
Yeah. See, so you guys are out there trying to change and be able to bring it in the multiple avenues that people are looking for. Because now, before COVID, it was Amazon. People would love to shop Amazon and shit, and you could go places, but you didn't really have a need to. But I always felt like airsofters were pretty core, and they wanted to go hang out with the dudes who they enjoy being around and talk shop with them, just bullshit airsoft. Mm-hmm. And then I feel like what's going to happen though now is COVID has forced the airsoft community to be able to do things like we're doing here right now, and be able to have this chat with everybody here in space, be able to do it on the internet. And now they don't have to actually go to the stores, and COVID really showed people that, I feel like. And I feel like the way of the future is going to be mostly online, which kind of sucks, but it's cool that you guys are making sure that you're tying that bit down there.
So a part of me has to slightly disagree.
Fair.
And my reasoning behind it is airsoft is a very personal thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you're going on and buying like I use Amazon a lot. I just the other night we were making food, me and my wife, and we were chopping up garlic, and she literally looked at me and she goes, "You got to get me one of those slappy thingies, the slap chop. You remember the slap chop?"
Yes, right.
So
there
I
with the
literally,
ShamWow.
I just looked up slap chop and I ordered one real quick. But shopping for stuff like general stuff like that is not the same as shopping for airsoft.
Right.
Yes, a lot of people do research and then go online and order it. But unfortunately, like we come across so many situations where, you know, you do that and then you get it and you're disappointed because the YouTuber or the review or anything you saw online was a very biased thing.
Yeah.
You know, and it was given to the person for free. So
Right.
obviously they can't say anything negative about it.
Right.
And now this person is stuck. And what sucks is you're not stuck with something that cost you $50, $20.
Right.
You're stuck with something you just spent, $200 on.
Right.
And, for some people, like that's like half a paycheck.
Fuck yeah.
It's like it's a paycheck.
Right.
So for a lot of people that's not that's not exactly pocket change. And don't get me wrong, I'm one of those people. I'm not exactly sitting here just throwing money around. So I try to do that research.
Right.
But it's kind of one of those things where if you have the ability to go to a store and have the store and feel it and talk to somebody that's been there repairing it, you will definitely do that.
Right.
And that's always been my argument as to, even though we've been in the business for 9 years, as to why I haven't started a website and why we kind of stuck to the core of a store.
Right.
Because a lot of people that have always come in have been like, yeah, I ordered this off so-and-so website and it like broke the first day.
Yeah.
And having that support of a store and having all of those extra things is something that, I feel like people have started kind of coming back to.
Right. They want that customer service and that you got to actually kind of be sold on a little bit. You're worried about it and your salesman's there. Well, if he's an honest guy, telling you exactly what you should be looking at or even steering you away from something. I would agree with that. I mean, I could definitely see it from that side of things as well. I guess, I don't know. See, my opinion, I'm partially biased because like I said, our local shops don't necessarily carry what we want. So like they don't carry Elite Force, for example, right? Pretty popular brand. Most people would think Elite Force would be one that you would carry. Doesn't fucking carry it.
Not a single item.
Not a single item. Doesn't like Elite Force, doesn't carry it. Like literally snakes and sparklers, bro. That's what I'm saying. So to me, it's like, I guess here in that area, in our area here, it's more like that mentality is what I've become accustomed to. So now it's like, oh, let me go here and look and see what you got accessories wise, maybe pick up some BBs and, batteries, whatever, support you in that way. But you don't have any of the major purchases I want. Therefore, I have to go and search out these, like you were saying, the YouTubers and whatnot, and try to sift through the bullshit of what's real and what's not. Because you'll get the guys who say, hey, this was given to me, but no, I don't have to say anything. I'm not being paid for this. Okay. Granted, this is true. You're not being paid to say nice things, but mentally you still have a block because in your brain, it cost you nothing. So is it really that bad for free? No, it's not that bad for free, but is it worth $200 is the real question. Like, would you have the same feelings if you actually spent your $200 on it? And I don't feel like you actually get that. I don't feel you get a 100% review on anything in Airsoft, really, honestly, online.
It's kind of funny. So I tell people whenever they have, so if I make a recommendation to somebody, I always try to, so I talk people out of stuff all the time.
Right.
I've actually prevented people from spending money. Right. I literally will tell people, listen, you've spent too much.
Right.
All right. Take a step back, take a week or something, and kind of collect your thoughts before you add anything else to this. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll tell people, like, listen, here's the name of the gun. Go look online.
Right.
But don't go and look at the guy that has 150, 250,000 subscribers. Find the guy that has 100 subscribers.
Right.
That's the guy that paid for it with his own money, and he's going to have an honest review with what that gun is.
Yeah.
And that's what I always try to recommend, because the people that get it for free, even though they hate it, well, they're going to look at it as, shit, I got this for free, and if I want to get some other stuff for free in the future, I can't say anything bad.
Right. Yeah.
So my favorite term that's used, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, is when the term, it's pretty good for the money.
Pretty good for the money. Yes. Dude.
In a nutshell means it's trash.
Yeah.
When you have to say it's pretty good for the money, you know it's not good, and they're not trying to say good, and they're trying to say for the $150 this cost you, it's not bad.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's not, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Like, bro, whenever, like, as a fat guy, you think about it in food. If I eat at a place, I'm like, it's pretty good. It's not on my top choices to go back to ever fucking again. I will definitely go with something that I thought was great.
Of course.
So, yeah, I mean, same thing definitely should apply here. So, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of one of those things where I like I said, I think it's more groomed because of our local culture here and the way it kind of is. And I don't know, man, maybe Full Auto Airsoft just will take off, and you guys will be able to open up a store in the middle of Wichita, Kansas, and change that. But, you know,
we do have, if things go to plan, we do have plans of expanding.
Hell yeah.
We definitely do have plans of expanding. Hopefully at a more rapid pace than some other places have, but we definitely have a big plan of expanding. Even if it's more so of a kiosk type thing to offer things. Like we have a lot of ideas brewing that definitely don't want to limit us to the New Jersey or tri-state area.
Right. Well, see, and that's what I was talking about, though, is that's good, though. You guys are not just sitting here saying this is the airsoft industry, this is how we do sales, and then leaving at that. You're brainstorming. You're trying to segue into getting different ways to getting out there, and like that's cool to see from what some people would consider a smaller company when you're talking about large companies like Airsoft GI and Evike. But really, it's the mom and pop shops that I would like to see be out there trying to innovate and find new ways, because like you were saying, it's that interaction that you really actually do enjoy. I loved going into our, we used to have an old airsoft store here called Airsoft Unlimited, and the people who ran it were fucking awesome. And I would just go in there just to fucking hang out. Like, and that was what was fun to me, was I loved going in there, hanging out with Scott and Kelly, just talking bullshit, learning shit about guns. And occasionally what would happen is we would stumble across something and I'd be like, okay, fuck, I need this. I'm going to buy this. Like, I really want this. And I would, you know, exactly like you were saying, I'd come back 2 weeks later, I'd buy this thing, and then they'd be like, hey, you know, slow your roll. You bought this, and, come back if you want to buy the other, and it'll be here. We'll make sure we got it. And that bit you don't really get anymore, like you're saying. And I think that's really cool that you guys are still offering that, in the way that you're trying to find ways to hopefully expand it to make that to where it's the norm and get out there to everybody. That's fucking exciting. And that actually got me thinking too, talking about you guys doing some expanding. You guys are opening a field.
That is correct.
We got to know some about this, especially because for some reason Task Force Podcast is popular on the East Coast, and I'm not really sure why, because we're from the Midwest. But with that being said, we fucking love all you East Coast guys. You guys are really fucking cool. Every time we've gotten to actually hang out and see you guys in person, it's been super worth it. So, I think for these guys, it's going to be cool to have another field up there in that Northeast. So tell us something about that and what's going on with that.
So, Full Auto Arena is the official company name. It is something that I've been working on for about 7 years, just trying to find the right place. The right place in more avenues than just size or anything like that. Long story short, the growth of Airsoft due to COVID allowed me to finally find a location and, no pun intended, pull the trigger. It So the building is 18,600 square feet advertised. However, that's the first floor.
Right.
Then there is a basement that we didn't even know about till afterwards. We actually stumbled across it. So I got a set of keys to this place, right? And I'm looking at it, I'm like, there's 2 keys. There's only one front door. There's a back door, but it's like a push bar exit emergency door.
Right.
So me and the manager that we have hired to run this place, by the way, Corey, is an amazing guy that I've never found a person that is such a sync with me as to how I like to run things.
Right.
That I'm just excited to have him running this place. But so we're at the facility just kind of checking things out, obviously, right after we got the keys, and I'm just like, I heard there was a basement, but I don't know how the hell to get there. So we go out the back of the building, and there's this door underneath, and I'm like, huh. So we rip this door open, and we find that there's a side door. So I go and you use the second key in this side door, and it works. So if it wasn't mine, why do I have the key? So lo and behold, it is a part of it, but it's deemed unusable because it floods.
Right. So
this basement's 7,000 square feet. It is massive. And we plan on doing so many things. It's not going to be open right away. It does need a lot of work. It does flood, so we got to put in some sub pumps and make it so that the place is safe, no mold, stuff like that. But it's going to need some work. It's going to take some time, longer than the initial open. We're trying to open the upstairs sometime. We're shooting for like September, October. We finally got a contractor lined up, all the electrical and all of that, and we're hoping to start construction in about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But the location of this is in a town called Pearl River, New York. It is quite literally a half a mile away from the New York, New Jersey border. So it's actually 15 minutes up the road from our current location, which is great. It's awesome because there is no other field within an hour.
Right.
And where we're located is Bergen County, New Jersey, up in the northeastern part of the state, and right over the border is Rockland County, New York. And these 2 counties are actually one of the most densely populated counties in the country. And it's also the most densely populated single area of airsofters in the country, based off of just population per mile and all of that. And then I kind of think about it, and you got to think about it, up in the Northeast, there's 4 stores that are fully flourishing in airsoft. Right. So there's got to be enough people to kind of allow this to happen, because at the end of the day, the airsofters are what allow something like this to happen. Right. I don't want to spend enough money in rent to buy a car every month if it's not going to do anything. Right. So that's how much it is. I could literally buy a car every month with the rent for this building. It's gross when you think about it. So
dude, I have thought about how cool it would be to open up an indoor place here. And kind of like you're saying, like, I don't even know how the fuck you would go about, like, because to find a place, well, here's not too terribly hard. I mean, plenty of big stores that have closed down. Old Kmart, perfect. Let's just throw up some walls. But then you start looking at the insurance, you start looking at the rent, and you start looking at all the little things that go into it. And you're like, bro, this is a mountain of money. And you just have to have the community to be able to support it, because exactly like you said, if they're not there, then it's not happening. Renting a building for nothing.
Yep. So the location's perfect. It's right smack dab in the middle of a town. The train station, I'm not kidding you, is 30 feet away.
That's not bad.
And the train station,
because the train up there is your guys' main transportation. Like a ton of fucking people use that.
So yeah, this is actually a huge train line though, because this one goes from a little further up north in New York all the way down to a northern station in Jersey that then directly goes to Penn Station, New York City. So somebody in New York City could literally jump on the train, connect at another point, and come straight and get dropped off 50 feet, 30 feet in front of our location.
Dude, that's fucking awesome.
So because of that, we're actually going to be putting lockers in the building that you can rent out and leave all your gear at the field with your own lock and just bring your batteries. And not have to worry about having your gun in New York, not have to worry about traveling and transportation with a gun. And it's too perfect.
Right.
Now, here's the other part that made me say, I need this place. There's a brewery in the same building
Well,
that offers some of the best barbecue up here.
I mean, that's
So-
definitely a big plus, right?
So we're going to be working with that, and we're going to be offering like a 21 and up on Thursday nights. And
Hell yeah.
we're gonna work with so there's actually 9 bars that surround this building. 9 bars we could walk to within 2 minutes. So we're gonna try to do like a 21 and up night and and offer something like that. But it's just the centralization of the field and what it offers around it was just too perfect. And it, don't get me wrong, I spent 6 months negotiating this building.
Yeah.
I found it in January. I got the keys July 1st. So I've spent, and trying to keep this thing quiet was eating me alive.
Dude, when
So
you're excited
bad.
about something, you just want to share it, you know what I mean? And like
I mean, something I've been spending so long on, yeah, 100%.
hell yeah, dude. That's exciting. I'm excited for you guys cuz I remember, so way back in the day we used to have a indoor place here actually, and it was this old place called like Airsoft or something like that, but it was this old hospital, and we used to do kind of something you were talking about there. They would have all-nighters is what they would basically do. So you'd show up at 7 and they'd close the doors and they'd lock everybody in once everybody got checked in and everything, and you would literally just play all fucking night long. And so you'd have dudes there, and you know, you could pretty much bring whatever you wanted, but something like that where you guys are at, like next door to a brewery, doing an all-night play and being able to get some food from the place next door, dude, that would be fucking awesome. That would be fucking cool.
So the whole town is actually like a huge Irish town. So there's all sorts of food, and it's a big bar town. So the place literally is alive till 4:30 in the morning every night.
Yeah, oh,
So
yeah.
it is such a great location. But we're gonna be running it differently. So a very common thing that we've come across with local players is a lack of quality in the local fields, which is what made me, the same reason I wanted to start an airsoft company
Right,
is what made me want to start this field.
right.
And the best way to put it is zero tolerance is more than how we're going to be running this place.
Yeah, a lot of people at first are always kind of hard on that too, because they're like, well, why would you do this? And like, bro, after a while, you guys are going to get used to the rules. It's not going to be a big deal. And you're actually going to find that it's going to eliminate those, how do I put this?
Oh, the people we're permabanning?
Yeah, it's going to eliminate those people, but it's also going to eliminate those bitch ass players who always complain about everything. You know what I mean? And they don't call their hits, but they call out everybody else for not calling their hits, and it'll suss those boys out, and it'll get them the fuck out of there. You know what I mean? And then you'll be left with just dudes who are just there, who want to have fun, who don't have a problem following the basic rules of airsoft, which are very
It's
basic.
not much.
I mean, yeah, it's super basic. You really don't have to do much to be able to be a good airsoft player. Like, call your hits, don't repeatedly overshoot. You like it happens. I'll give you, it happens. You get caught up in the heat of the moment, you overshoot, whatever. Recognize it, try not to do it again, and it's cool. You constantly do it, fuck you. You're an asshole. But call your hits. I mean, that's really the main thing, right? And then if you have a problem with somebody, obviously don't try to solve the problem yourself physically on the field, because you shouldn't play there anymore, ever, in my opinion.
One big thing that, like, even if you do accidentally overshoot for whatever reason, either A, you were hitting their play carrier, they didn't know, and you kind of overshot a little bit, or
Right.
whatever it may be. The simple coming up to you and so going, dude, my bad.
Right.
I didn't mean to.
Right.
You 99% of the time that would de-escalate
Right.
situation, and it's over. It's done. It's those people that'll overshoot and then just look at you and go, "That's fucking airsoft, man. Get over it."
Right.
What?
Right.
No. And it's just like respect.
Yeah.
Treat people the way you want to be treated.
Yeah.
And it comes down to that simply.
Right.
With when it comes to our velocity, we're going to be running not feet per second, we're running in joules. AEGs are going to be chronoing 1.14 joules with a 2.5, which translates roughly to around 349 feet per second.
Mm-hmm.
And then HPA and gas blowbacks are going to be chronoing at 1.14 joules with a 4.0. We're going to be eliminating the joule creepers.
Damn.
People tuning their gun to chrono in okay with a 2.5 and then drop a 3.6 in, and you're shooting equivalent to, like, we'll say 390, 400 with a 2.0 because of the way the gun's creeping up with as an HPA setup.
Right.
And then to also eliminate potential cheating, all HPA guns are going to require a tournament lock for the regulator and a tournament lock for the FCU. And if you don't have one, no problem. We'll supply it with just your driver's license.
Nice.
You won't even have to pay for it. So there's going to be no way to cheat with any of that. And as far as guns like AEGs that have quick change springs, there's going to be, I mean, we're going to make it so that you can't easily open things up, but also we're going to have a ref for every 10 players. Right. We're going to cap it at 50 players. So there's going to be 5 refs in the building. And they're going to be your job when you're not working reffing a game, you're in staging.
Right.
You're in staging to talk to people, stay communicative, but also keep an eye out so that you don't see that kid taking his buffer tube out and swapping a spring.
Right.
So it's, there's no way to change a spring in 2 seconds. No. There are things that you have to do in order for, it's going to take you at minimum 30 seconds to swap a spring. And when there's 5 refs in an open staging area, you're not going to be able to get by it.
Right. See, and I don't think that the more rules or stricter rules or whatever people want to call it is a bad thing, because like I said before, it's just going to suss out those people who can't just do it. You know what I mean? And you won't have to deal with that. So I think the fact that you're having them so many refs per players, then that's honestly the best way to do it, because you'll have fields that are great and they're not bad at all, and then you get out there and you start getting into the deeper areas of a field where the ref's not really walking around and pay attention, and that's where you see this shit unfold. And then, you get the hollering and the ref goes over there finally and fucking they knock the shit off. But it's that right there, exactly like you're saying. So having that many refs to be able to cover, so 1 ref per 10, like, I think you're onto something there. And then having them creep around the staging area is good, as well as if they're good with tech, and man, you guys will be able to take care of some people there too, because guys, guns go down and shit happens like that. You guys planning on having, are you guys going to have like a store there as well too?
So we're going to have a pro shop and a tech station. That's only going to be open when the field's open.
Right.
So that the main store doesn't get too hurt by it.
Right.
I'm not trying to close down the Full Auto Airsoft store whatsoever. I want to, even though it's only 15 minutes away, I'd like to keep it up. It's the home base. It's where all of this stemmed from.
Right.
So I really, to me, I'm going to try to do everything, obviously, from a smart business sense. I'm not going to put myself in the hole because of it, but I would like to try to keep it open. But there's going to be a pro shop. There's going to be everything available at the pro shop. There's going to be teching services available there. And also the big thing is we're not going to jack up the prices. Like when you go to fields, a lot of the times they know you're at the field, you need
Right.
BBs, you're not going to leave.
Mm-hmm.
So they can charge you an extra $5 for a bottle of BBs.
Yeah.
We're not going to do that. We're going to keep the same BB price as we have on our website in the field. We're going to keep everything the same, and we're going to just try to make it. I'm essentially just trying to make it like an oasis of an indoor field, where you can go there and have no BBs, and you're not going to get ripped off. You can go there and there's not going to be that group of guys that are there every single week that cause problems every single time.
Right.
So there's a lot of different things that we're trying to do in order to just better the general experience of an indoor field. Do I think I'm going to ban people? Yep, I'm expecting to ban 200 to 300 people in the first 6 months. I've got
a big number.
I've got no problem with that, because I look at it as ban 200 to keep 2,000 happy.
Right.
I mean, my clientele list is roughly just over 3,000 customers. So it's kind of one of those things where it's just like, if you get rid of that one bad apple,
right,
that is always the bad apple that ruins the batch will be happier. And that's how we're going to try to run it. And eventually, hopefully they come around. And don't get me wrong, a permaban's going to probably be like a 1-year thing.
Right.
And then it will allow you back to test and see if maybe you learned from that.
Right.
And if you didn't, cool. I think we're going to do it on, there's going to be obviously different levels. Hey, you're out for the game. Hey, you're out for the day. Right. But on a permaban level, we're going to do it as another 3 striker. You're going to get banned for a year. Then you're going to get banned for another year. And if you decide to come back a third time and get permaban a third time, you're gone for life.
Right.
I believe as people grow, they can change. So there's a possibility that in a year's time that X, player might have reflected a little bit, grown up a little bit, and turned into a better person. And there's no reason to scrutinize them for their entire life,
right,
for one situation. But but it's so we're really trying to just, as strict and as hard as some people may seem the rules to be, just trying to make it so that we all get to just enjoy the sport. Without having to worry about that one group of people or that one guy that just ruins the day for you.
Right. Have you guys figured out your fees and all that stuff? What the fees are going to be?
So we're going to be it's going to be $30. However, it's not going to be a whole day. Since we're limiting 50 players on the field at a time, we're going to be doing it sessions. So it's going to be a 3-hour sessions, what you're going to get for $30. So it's roughly about $10 an hour. However, your get up and get ready time is not going to be a part of that 3 hours.
Right.
So our schedule is, as I guess you could say, as follows as of right now. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is going to be a 18 and up, 21 and up, and then 14 and under night. And it's going to start at 6 p.m. You're going to be able to come in at 6 p.m., get ready, first game at 7, and then to close out at 10.
Okay.
And that's going to be, it's going to be always a $30 per price session. And then Saturday is going to be open play Saturday, open play Sunday, all ages. First session, there's going to be 3 sessions in the day. Opens at 10. First sessions from 11 to 2. Then 2 to 3 is the swap in out players getting ready.
Right.
Then 3 to 6, swap out 6, 7, and then 7 to 10 again.
Okay. Well, that's
so
not bad. $30 for 3 hours isn't terrible. I mean, especially if you're not counting the downtime, because the downtime would have been my biggest argument was like, dude, airsofters fucking drag their feet on getting on the fucking field.
Yeah, so no, we don't care about that. We're not gonna do the whole, hey, Gil, let's get onto the field. Okay, it's gonna be another 15 minutes before the game starts. No, we're gonna be running on a tight schedule. And if you're not on the field, this is definitely gonna cause some issues in the beginning, but people are gonna have to understand that, we don't want to sit around and do nothing. If you want to do that, by all means, you do you. But we're gonna run a pretty decent schedule with it. We're gonna try to get at least 5 games in those 3 hours.
Yeah, that'd be fucking
so
good.
It's
if that person wants to sit a game out, whether they're having like gun issues or whatever, then they can always jump back into the next game that comes around, right?
Correct. Yeah, and it's not going to be such a lull in between. The
Right.
games are going to be I'm going to probably try to do like no more than a 20 to 30 minute game at max,
Right.
with like a 15 minutes until the next game fully starts.
Right.
So it'll be like, game ends and then you have 15 minutes, go use the bathroom, get your mags filled back up, get back on the field.
Right.
Next game starts at, obviously we're going to give it a minute or two if need be, but
Right.
we're going to really try to stick to a strict schedule when it comes to it. And then the big thing, a part of it is it's a cap of 50 players. So the building is physically, according to my architect, we're good for 500 people in the entire building. So a 50 player cap, 25 on 25 in a play area just about 15,000 square feet is enough for everyone to really enjoy themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd rather make it a smaller group of people that really enjoy themselves than having like some of these places have 120 people come in and they're having to split people into 4 groups of 30 in order to
Right.
make it kind of usable. And now you're sitting out. You have no choice. You have to sit out for a whole game because the other 2 groups are on. So we're gonna put a cap, and that cap is gonna be a hard cap, and we're gonna really try to stick with it so that it's more enjoyable. Like I said before, man, I'm gonna try to make this such an enjoyable place that we'll be able to sell tickets 2-3 weeks in advance for a certain gameplay.
Right. Yeah.
And really try to make it so that it is a place that can just kind of grow, and hopefully one day maybe even open up a bigger field somewhere else. My dream is a 50,000 square foot, 60,000 square foot facility that you could literally be like, yo, grenade, and just toss it like a football and still not reach the other side.
Dude, that would be cool. That would be cool.
That's the dream. Unfortunately, up here, I am not going to spend $70,000 a month in rent. I'm not going to buy a brand new BMW every month with the rent that I'm paying for a building.
So your guys' layout, are you guys going to do a fixed layout, or are you looking at doing something that's more mobile where you guys can kind of change it up from time to time?
We really want to do mobile. I want to do something that I can change up and try to change it up once a month.
Right.
One, to keep people on their toes.
Right.
And 2, if we do a setup and someone finds that one angle that kind of doesn't make it, kind of makes it a little unfair,
right,
make it so we could switch things up. When you make a permanent setup, you kind of screw yourself.
Yeah. And
we really want to try to make it a little more versatile throughout the whole thing.
Well, that's good. That's good. I'm excited to hear that, because I was going to say, man, if you guys it's because with it being quite large, I could see somebody wanting to do a permanent setup. But at the same time, I also view it as like, dude, it's so big. Like, I would love to be able to take full advantage of it and change it up and have it completely different from month to month, or have it set up special for a tournament or something like, I don't know, the KWA fight nights. You know what I mean? Something like that, to be able to change it up and have those different setups for different things or whatnot. Is really kind of key to me to keep a field interesting. You know what I mean? Especially if you
Absolutely.
don't have, if it's just one area you're playing in, especially because here with it being outdoor, we have multiple fields, and you can go to a different field every game. And so you can kind of keep it interesting that way. But if you're playing indoor, you generally don't have that option. So if you've got a wide open space and you've got the ability to be able to change, it's the best way to keep it, in my opinion. But as like I said, you limit yourself with a fixed setup, and I don't know what the fuck you do after that. I mean, you just live with it, I guess.
Yeah, no, we're trying to work around that, and like I said, coming at it from an airsofter's perspective is how I've done it since day one, and so far hasn't failed me. Almost a decade in business.
So with that being said, I mean, we were talking a little bit about KWA Fight Night there, and I'm gonna go ahead and segue into this Fight Night, so that way we can get into this here. So let's get into that here. So as you guys know by now, this is our KWA knockout segment, in which case we talk a little bit about the KWA Fight Night. Of course, we have the championship bracket is finally off to a start, and we've got the bracket. I'll go ahead and show you guys the screen here. Crystal versus Rose, Young versus Orsini, Ghost versus Valiant, Virus versus Gunner, Dom versus Undead Fred, Ranger Rhett versus Vince, Bill versus Ryan, Joey versus Roosta. I think a lot of these matchups are going to be really, really exciting to watch. And honestly, I'm more excited to actually see who's going to be the Fight Night champion. And who's going to walk away with that KWA Fight Night belt. I mean, realistically, there's a ton of opportunity out here, and I'm excited for Fight Night 3 to hit and for us to finally be able to watch and see this is going, because we did, of course, a little bit of talk with Rose and Crystal, and those two were, they were kind of talking their own smack in their own way, but it sounds like they were extremely excited to get out there and see who had what it took to move on to the next round. And that really got me kind of excited for the next couple fights. We talked to Gunner. Of course, we had talked to Gunner a little bit before, where he was supposed to go up against DJ, and unfortunately DJ wasn't able to make it, so they had to change that out. And now he's going up against Virus, which I also think is going to be another really good matchup, because Gunner's very, very smooth, and of course, as we saw in Fight Night 2, really likes to use his cover and really pays attention to what the other player's doing, and also running as far as a gun. He's very observant, so to see him going against somebody like Virus is going to be an exciting fight, I think, to see. Eddie from Biohazard, of course, kept hitting me up about our brackets. If you guys are interested in what my bracket and Nasty's bracket looks like, you can actually go back to the last episode, and you guys can check those out. Also, with that being said, the bracket entry has actually closed. I ran it again one extra week to get to the start of this week. So if somebody actually has a perfect bracket and they were able to pick the matchups and it goes all the way down and funnels down to the winner, then that person will win something special from KWA Task Force Podcast. And of course, in the last episode, Overwatch Tactics, Soto said he would throw in an event ticket as well. So something special from all three of those places just for a perfect bracket. So super excited to see how that kind of works out. Have you watched anything of the KWA Fight Night?
I have dabbled here and there.
Yeah.
And as messed up as this sounds, the fields kept me quite busy.
No, man, I get it. That makes a lot of sense. It really does.
I just haven't had a chance. I've definitely wanted to kind of at least go back and watch some of the reruns.
Right.
And I'm definitely interested in it. It's kind of got this whole Fight Club feel to it.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely super interested. And really wanted to kind of, I guess watch it. I just haven't had, as bad as it sounds, any time to catch any of the episodes.
Yeah, man, if you get a chance, definitely check them out. I really think KWA is kind of doing something different with it in the 1v1, and before I didn't really think that a 1v1 would be as entertaining to watch as it actually is, which was, I guess, a really dumb thought, because I remember being like 14 and thinking 1v1 lobbies in Call of Duty was the funnest thing to go sit down and do, and also watch even just in spectator mode. So it's funny now to see it taken off with this Xbox generation of fucking players that we've got now, that are now me, like 30, and fucking just trying to find some way to find entertainment. And KWA Fight Night, I think, is really interesting to see these people going 1v1, and the way they're able to kind of put it all together with their cinematics and the gameplay style. And they made the rules pretty basic. They're not too hard to follow, but not only do they have the 1v1 matchups, but they also have objectives that they can get in there and try to obtain as well. So they can pick up objectives that are worth 10 points. So we actually had a matchup in the last Fight Night where it came down to one objective was actually the reason he got the win. So it's really, really kind of exciting to see them putting a different spin on it and not just being a straight up 1v1 match, but also they're putting in some additional objectives in there for these people to have to be able to go after to try and obtain points. So that way, if you fall behind and you're against a player who, I don't know, maybe is a better shot. I mean, like we saw Dom was single shotting dude in last round that we watched, and it was quite impressive. It was quite impressive to see his shooting skills. But if that person had stayed low and tried to obtain those objectives, it could have really been an upset, even though he was actually eliminating the other player, which I think is really kind of a cool thing. Gives you kind of levels the playing field on some aspect, but it's definitely worth a watch if you haven't watched it before. I would say, though, with you being an East Coast player and Fight Night kind of being more of a West Coast thing, the Gauntlet, of course, was going on out on the East Coast, and that was ran by CQB Rush. And I know that the CQB Rush was actually going to be releasing one of the fights here. I think it actually just came out earlier today. So if you guys haven't already, go over and check out his YouTube or his Instagram, and you can find that there. But on the East Coast, out of the people you know, who do you think would be a 1v1 matchup that you would like to see in a KWA Fight Night style?
Oh God. I mean, there's so many teams out here with a lot of really good players. Wow, that's a tough question. I mean, there's a lot of really good teams, like I said.
Mm-hmm.
I guess
See, like, to me,
wow, I don't know. I'm kind of lost. I'm kind of lost for words. Like, they're kind of like how you said it. Like, it doesn't require you to have to be the best shot,
right,
or the best one specifically with the moving tactics. Like,
right.
You can use the objectives to still win the match. So because of that, it's, you know, I know a lot of people, and I know a lot of their strong suits and their weak points, and something that, you know, I've seen them try to work on, and it's it's a tough one. I almost don't think I could put my hands on a single person. You know, it's kind of like, you know, the best way to kind of explain it, I guess, with a lot of people also being able to relate to this is kind of like Fortnite.
Right.
As much as I don't want to say those words, but it's Fortnite. As much as we don't want to comprehend this, some of us don't want to comprehend this. It came and brought a mechanic in that is very similar to KWA Fight Night.
Mm-hmm.
You don't just have to be a really good shot. If you can build really well, it can give you an advantage over the other player. So this, you know, being able to think on your toes and move and get those objectives can make the difference as to whether or not, like you said, an upset can happen because of tactics of just being able to think on your toes.
Right.
So there really is not no single person I could think of that I would be like, I totally want to see this.
Right.
You know, it's just there's so many people that are just so different out on the East Coast. You know, especially with how strong of a Milsim and Speed QB presence there is. Honestly, I would put it down to the Fight Night kind of comes down, and I feel like the Gauntlet should almost use the idea of you know, since there's such a, as much as we always try to bring the two together, Speed QB and Milsim, and say it's the same thing, there inevitably will always be a rivalry. It's that simple. So give it something to use.
Yeah, dude. No,
Milsim type players versus Speedsoft type players.
I think that would be a cool matchup to really see. We've seen a little bit of that in the KWA Fight Nights, but it hasn't been like a hardcore Milsim player versus a hardcore Speed QB player. And that is a matchup that I think would be really cool to watch as well. We've seen guys who are mostly Milsim, but also play a lot of indoor versus dudes who pretty much play mainly indoor, but they also do Milsim, you know what I mean? So we've seen some matchups that are close, but I would love to see, like you're saying, a hardcore just Milsim player versus a Speed QB guy, because like you're saying, up there in the East Coast, man, They are. You guys are all kind of jam packed together, and if the Milsim player wants to get some local play time, he's pretty much going to be playing at an indoor place because there's not a ton of outdoor places up there in the Northeast.
Yeah.
And so, I feel like the Milsim guys up in the Northeast have got an advantage when it comes to indoor play because they're forced to play it versus you get somebody from like the Midwest here where we don't have any indoor place. It would be a straight up outdoor guy versus an indoor speedsoft player, and it would be totally different. It would be just a weird vibe, man. It would be two totally different play styles and different ways of taking cover than each other, and that would be kind of an interesting matchup to see too. But as you were talking, I was thinking, I was like, man, who I think would be kind of a cool matchup to see would actually be Little Miss Airsoft versus Airsoft Has Mean. I think would be actually a really cool little 1v1 there. Airsoft Has Mean's actually out on the West Coast, plays a lot of outdoor, does some indoor, but not as much. And then you've got Little Miss Airsoft, of course, out there on the East Coast, which you know her pretty well, of course, since she's an employee there at Full Auto. And so I think that would be a really cool 1v1 matchup to see, is that outdoor style versus that indoor style. And then not only that, but it's also two women of Airsoft. I mean, it's kind of weird, but those are the matchups to me that I think that would be most interesting. Just hardcore one style player versus a hardcore different style player. And hopefully in the future we'll get to see more things like that, East versus West Coast with KWA. And I'm hoping that's the direction they're going. Of course, if we get some winners from the Gauntlet, the East Coast is going to be representing what they've gone through, which, if you're unfamiliar with the way the Gauntlet works, KWA Fight Night, so it's kind of bracketed. So one person versus one person, then they go to the next person and all that. But the Gauntlet on the East Coast, it's literally that one person has to defeat every single other person until they finally get to the top. And so they're really hardcore going fucking gauntlet on it. It's a real gauntlet out on the East Coast. So I feel like the East Coast guys are going to feel like, hey, we really proved that we are the 1v1 champs. So the West Coast guys have got nothing. You know what I mean? And so I think it'll be cool to see that best in the U.S., East versus the West. And we'll kind of go from there. I know Nasty and I kind of joke all the time a little bit about it'd be like Bad Boy versus Death Row. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
was just going to that too.
Yeah, dude. Like just straight. Oh
god,
90s,
I was like, well, we're going back to the 90s with this one, huh? East versus West.
Oh yeah, man. I think that would be a fucking cool matchup to see.
That really would be. I really hope one day that I could facilitate something like that, and definitely be a part of this. I love the movement. I love the whole idea of it, and it's finally something like being in airsoft for so long, finally being able to see a part of, like, I guess you could say, the paintball community type, lifestyle type competitiveness coming finally to the airsoft side,
right?
Is honestly super exciting.
Yeah.
And something I totally look forward to seeing as it grow, and hopefully one day have the dream of just facilitating the event. That to me would be an honor, and on its own, being from where how long I've been in it and what I've seen and how I've seen the sport grow. That would be an honor on its own. But yeah, the whole thing is really kind of super exciting when it comes to it, and I totally want to see more of an East Coast versus West Coast. Absolutely,
dude.
Who the hell wouldn't?
I mean, with your guys' massive field that you're gonna have, I think it would be a really good place to be able to have that East versus West showdown. Well, I mean, I also wouldn't complain if you guys found a place here in the Midwest and brought the fight here too. So, but
why don't we do something just like honestly, you could make we could totally make a weekend out of it.
I know.
Just do something like Line Claws, find an abandoned building, look at the guy and be like, hey, sweet man, so we're going to give you $5,000 just rent for the weekend.
Right.
And just have everybody come in and do a full weekend long, bracket setup. Start it Friday.
Mm-hmm.
and the champion is figured out by Sunday.
That would be cool.
You know what I mean?
Cool. Yeah, dude.
Almost like a milsim, but like a fight night.
I mean, here we are. We're working on it right now. It's already in the works. It sounds like so.
I'm down for being a part of this right now. But yeah, we should definitely that should definitely be something that should be in the works.
Dude, I agree. I think so for sure. I think it's something that they need to look into. And
I know you got the space out there.
Oh my God, do we? Yes, we do. Plenty of space. But no, man, I'm glad that you guys could come on. Well, that you could come on the show and be here. I know we had talked a little bit before, and Little Miss Airsoft said she thought she might be here, but I hope she's fucking out there rocking out and enjoying this concert while she can, because hopefully things stay where they're at now and it doesn't get back to a lockdown status. But we'll see how that all goes. But no, seriously, man, thank you for coming on here. And I'm really excited for, Full Auto Airsoft and what you guys have done. And that's fucking awesome. You're kind of getting to do that American dream. And the fact that you started with $50 and you were able to turn around and start. And now you guys are up to where you're going to have a massive fucking field. Like, that is really, really cool. So mad props to you, dude. Seriously.
Thank you, man.
That, like, it is, you're right. Anything you want, if you actually set your mind to it and you tell yourself that I'm gonna get it, like, you will fucking get it eventually. You just have to keep working at it. And Man's right here is a perfect example of that. So mad props to you. Keep doing that change too. Like, keep evolving. Don't let it just get stagnant and stay where you're at, and be okay with what it's at. And I think you guys are going to continue to do great. If you guys haven't, again, you need to make sure you go follow Full Auto Airsoft on Instagram. Here is their Instagram. I'll zoom in for you guys because I know, you guys are, well, one, you can't read because it's Airsoft. So Full Auto Airsoft, you guys make sure you go follow them on Instagram. And then also, you guys can head over to fullautoairsoft.com, faairsoft.com. You can find the link inside their Instagram, and there you can actually get one of these sweet ass infinity slides. So, like we were talking about at the beginning of the show, they're the only place that has these. If you want to get one in the US at least, and you don't want to sit there and be worried about your stuff not shipping from Russia. So you can go there, you can pick that up. But I mean, great website, easy to navigate, cool dudes running it who actually care about what you're spending your money on and care about you getting the best for your money. And again, man, I'm just excited that you guys are doing so well, and I'm glad that you guys could come on here and just make a entrance and let everybody know that it's out on the West Coast. Hey, we're here if you guys are looking for these custom parts as well.
Yeah, we're really trying to just bring something that I feel like it's been lacking in the general East Coast side of the sport.
Right.
We're just trying to just bring it out there and make it enjoyable once again.
Hell yeah, man. Well, thank you for coming on the show, and I'm sorry Nasty couldn't be here. I'm all alone.
We're just gonna have to do a part 2 with an update in like 3 months with us actually streaming from the field.
Right, dude, that would be fucking cool. That would be really cool. Definitely. We'll have to see if we can make that happen. But again, thank you for being here. Nasty, fuck that guy. He didn't show up because he's doing whatever he's doing. But thanks for you guys all tuning in. As a matter of fact, I wanted to call out Sky Off as out in the chat here. And seems like we actually found somebody who's in the Midwest that is other than myself, Nasty, and Task Force Podcast Mom, who may even be here in Kansas. Sky Off, I need you to send me a message because I need to get you a Task Force Podcast patch. And it'd be crazy to think that we could actually meet up with somebody and give them a patch for once, outside of going to a big ass fucking event. So, if you guys, are wanting to support Task Force Podcast, you can always do so through our Patreon. If you wanted to do that, there's a link in the description down below if you're watching on YouTube. Otherwise, you can find it in our bio on Instagram. Of course, we love all of our guys from Patreon. And as a matter of fact, Tristan, who is one of our God tier members on Patreon is in the waiting room. And if you're a God tier member, you get to jump into any episode. All you have to do is be willing to wait for me to drag you in here, which he's extremely patient. So if he has any questions for you, he'll get to ask them. So I'm going to drag Tristan in here right now. Tristan, are you there?
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going. I told everybody I would drag you in here since you're our God tier. You get to ask your question.
Where are you guys located anyway? I just joined in like late.
Where's who located?
Full auto airsoft.
We're located in New Jersey.
New Jersey, is that like far in between in like near Delaware or New Jersey or like
Northern New Jersey, right by New York, where we're like 10 minutes away, 15 minutes away from the New York, New Jersey border.
oh good. You doing so tell me more about like what you offer.
We pretty much try to round out offer everything you could think of when it comes to general equipment. I know that's a very general thing to freaking say, and I'm so sorry for making it sound so weird. But honestly, it's we try to do everything from Speedsoft to Milsim, custom builds. If you're not looking to do a custom build and just want something simple, and just about everything in between. I will say we are lacking in the tactical gear department a little bit, and we'd like to expand on that. But our main thing that we really do is custom gear, custom guns. That's what we're primarily known for.
Anything other than that, like yeah, like other events, swap meets, target shooting.
Oh, so the arena, we're gonna be doing all of that. We're gonna be doing swap meets. We're gonna be doing events in order to do like IPSC style events, and offer and kind of use the facility for really what it is, and not just have open plays constantly. We really want to try to offer a ton of different things. Maybe even shut down the facility for a day and just do nothing but swap meet. Everybody get on the field, have your little section for a swap meet, and kind of just let players come in, pick stuff up for an awesome deal from somebody that's trying to get rid of it for whatever reason.
Yeah, I'm more interested in the target shooting. That stuff's lacking in the East Coast.
Tristan,
100%.
Tristan, I don't know if you're aware, but Tristan's actually from the New York area, and
Okay.
Tristan went to Taiwan on a shooting competition in airsoft. So he's fancy, man. He's good.
Nice. So we're actually looking to possibly work with a local gun range, a real gun range, at possibly offering some sort of like a shooting competition type IPSC basis setup.
But for airsoft, of course.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Only using airsoft, no real firearms whatsoever. We're just gonna.
Damn it.
The collaboration is kind of with them, since they already kind of do this type of stuff, so that we don't try to come up with our own event and poorly run the whole thing. We want to link with somebody that's done it, that's got experience in it, that can properly give us the right way to do it so that it's enjoyable for everybody.
Oh, that would be interesting. Yeah. DM me or whatever if you want like any other things too with that in that type of realm.
Definitely. I appreciate the support. Thank you.
Yeah, we need I need target shooting things. Who am I kidding? I like that type of stuff. I don't know if everyone else does.
Yeah, we definitely want to. I was thinking about investing in those digital targets that one company, Gunpower, I think, makes.
It's a nice system. It's like you could program it to have the three other ones connected to it via a router and some cable links.
Yep. Yeah. So we're really looking to try to implement a lot of really good ways to have an IPSC style setup with using all that technology.
Or you can also go with those e-poppers, those like metal can looking things from Evike.
Yeah, I was actually looking at the G&G target system as well.
If you have a Met system, I would definitely go there a lot more.
Well, we will hopefully one day not disappoint.
Well,
all right. Thank you.
Yeah.
No problem.
Dude, thanks for coming on the show, Tristan, as well.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, dude, thanks for hopping in here and asking your questions. We love having you on here. But of course, we've come to the end of the show.
I'll see ya.
We love you guys. We'll see you, Tristan. We love you guys, and we will always see you. Next week we'll be here on Saturday, just like normal. Saturday, 7:30 Central. That's 8:30 Eastern, and that is 5:30 Western. Yes, 5:30 Western. Sorry, I had to think about it. But we love you guys, and we'll see you guys next week, and hopefully we'll have Nasty here, and we'll just I hope you guys in the chat seriously make fun of him and just give him a hard time and never stop bugging him because he wasn't here. Tell him he sucks. We love you guys. We'll see you.